Okay, another way of representing data we need to talk about is pie charts. Now, pie charts are a fantastic visual aid to see how things work. So, how does a pie chart actually work? Well, it's very simple. The bigger the section of the pie chart, the more people or more of a thing that are represented. Okay, so for example, I'm going to divide this pie chart into some sections, like so. You can see that section, hopefully, is 1/4 of the whole circle. So this represents 1/4 of the people or things in question. This section here is 1/2, which means it's twice as big as this section. Now, if it's twice as big, that means it contains twice as much. So, if this pie chart represents 100 people, and let's imagine it's their answers to which football team do they support. So this section here might be Chelsea. And if it was 1/4 of a circle, that would represent 25 people. This section here, which represents Arsenal, is also 1/4, so it represents another 25 people. This section here, which is twice as big, represents Liverpool. Now, I am biased here, but it's a bigger section. Now, because it's 1/2 of the total number, it's 50 people. So, very simple. The larger the section, the more people it represents. Now, how do we normally divide information to fit it into a pie chart? Well, we need to know some things about circles. So here's a circle, and what I want to know is what you tend to break a circle into. So, well done if you thought you break it into degrees. How many degrees make a full circle? Logical answers, if you've done lots of maths, would be things like 10, 100, 1,000. But circles don't follow that logic. The measurements we use come from Babylonian times, and we divide a circle into 360 degrees. Not degrees Celsius, degrees of turn. So, let's look at this pie chart up here and work out the degree for each section. Now, you already saw this was 1/4, so 1/4 of 360 would be 90 degrees, which we'd represent with a right angle. The Arsenal section is the same, and the Liverpool section, 1/2 of a circle, would be 180 degrees. So, what we'll often have to do with a pie chart is take the 360 degrees, take information like how many people support 3 different football teams, and draw it as a pie chart. Let's have a go at that now. So, let's imagine a table of information. We're going to stick with football, I'm afraid, and we're going to do the team people support and the frequency, or the number of people. So, we're going to do Chelsea, we're going to do Manchester United, shortened down there, and of course the biggest section will be the Liverpool section. So, In this case, the number of people who chose Chelsea was 8. The number of people who chose Manchester United was 1. And the number of people who chose Liverpool was 27. So you can see my bias there. Unfortunately, it reflects the fact that they are the better team than them. Now, how do we share it out? Okay, so my first question for you is, how many people did I ask this survey to? Okay, hopefully you're thinking about adding those up. And hopefully you got 36. So my question for you is, if 36 people equals 360 degrees, what does one person in my circle count as? But each person has to be the same size. Well done if you said 10 degrees, which is 360 divided by 36. You take the full circle and divide it by the number of people. Now, I'm going to put a third column on here for angle. So, Manchester United is one person, so they get 10 degrees of my circle. Chelsea, well, because they are 8 people, they get 80 degrees. And I'll put the sum down here to make sure it's clear working. The good news for all of us is Liverpool get the biggest section. They get 270 degrees. 10 degrees for every person. So, we've just worked out how we're going to divide the degrees up. Now we just need to draw it. So, what you're now going to do is get your protractor out. And you're going to carefully measure these angles. First off, draw a line. Then you're going to place your protractor around here like this, and you're going to measure round it until you get to 10 degrees. And then you're going to draw the line. And you label that section Man United. Then you take your protractor and you place it on here like so. Measure from 0 round to 80. Then you draw that on and you label it Chelsea. Now, because this pie chart only has 3 sections, we don't need to measure the last one, but we should do really just to check. What you need here is a full protractor. Start at 0 here or here and measure around to get 270, and then label this section Liverpool. So, just a quick recap of where we've got to. We know the full circle is 360 degrees. We do a division to work out how much of the circle one person is. Once we've worked that out, we then use the fact that there are 8 people here, or how many it is, times that by 1 person in degrees to get the total for all those people. Once we've got those numbers, we then take our protractor and we carefully measure out those sections, labelling them. So, basics of pie charts now covered. it's time to think about some more difficult parts. And we'll do that in part 2.